Nostalgia dictates that we often look back on our favourite titles with a rose-tinted visor. But even the greatest games of this generation have moments that we're forced to block out, a bit like the times at school when the bigger boys would wipe bogies on your sports bag. So on that slightly sinister note, it's time to round up our top 5 bad bits in great games. Kicking things off at 5, we've got Dead Rising, a game that delivers a lumbering maul full of undead, then hands you the tools to dismember them by the thousands. Basically, it's every nerd's blood-flecked dream made flesh. Until that is, you're forced to do something that no game should ever make you do. Check your bloody watch. Knowing what time it is should be exclusively reserved for rubbish real life, or at the very most, one of those real life train simulation games that serial killers play. Unless the big hand is on the chainsaw and the little hand is missing because we've just chopped it off, we absolutely don't care what time it is. And while we praise Dead Rising for trying to do something different, if wasting a day lawn mowing zombies is wrong, we just don't want to be right. In 4th place is the original Dead Space. In the olden days when it was okay to be scared of games and microtransaction just meant buying something from a tiny shop, Dead Space was about creeping horror, looming shadows and the grinding battle for survival. But in a grim spectre of the shooty gun fate that awaited Isaac, the Asteroids bit of Visceral Games' meat and menace shooter sticks out like a mutated necromorph thumb. Do necromorphs even have thumbs? It doesn't matter. What does matter is that shooting asteroids manages to combine being boring and being stressful, like some kind of ungodly chimeric entertainment abomination. The first Mass Effect kicked off the defining sci-fi series of a generation, a title that made gamers question their place in the galaxy and, more importantly, let them have transgressive alien space sex with a blue lady.
By the goddess, that was incredible, Shepard.
Or, if you're a bit shallow like we are, miserable, guilty rutting with space racist Ashley. And while there were a few things that stood out as being a bit shonky, like Omnigels, sprawling inventories and a dark future of really slow lifts, the one thing that nobody needed was a jumping bloody tank. All that richly detailed lore, pseudoscience background and the genuine feeling of exploration can't help but feel slightly damaged when you realise you're fighting robots using Pogo the moon car. We'd rather be riding around in Big Track, but then we'd rather that than most things. The Dark Knight is in 2nd place with a mostly incredible Arkham Asylum. This is a game that proved everyone wrong, taking a probably doomed superhero license and training it to be an almost perfect Batman simulator. Almost, because for every justice dispensing Batfist and glorious gargoyle hanging takedown, there was a carbon copy boss fight. It didn't matter if it was Bane, the meticulous planner famous for breaking the bat, or the Joker, Batman's most cerebral, insidious foe. Arkham Asylum takes some of the best DC villains and reduces them to fat-footed, knuckle-dragging, run-at-you illiterates. Add to this the never-ending, feces-sifting, sewer-delving croc section, and you begin to understand why Batman is always scowling.
Be quiet.
And in 1st place, we've got Halo. And if you've played Halo, you're probably shouting library at the screen now, like you were hypnotised in a former life. Combat Evolved is so full of amazing bits like assault on the control room, the silent cartographer and staring endlessly at that lovely grass, that the relentless to and fro of the library really does stick out as a mouldy, misdirected grind. Whereas fighting an elite in Halo was a tactical game of gun chess that's rarely been bettered, locking tendrils with the Flood was like using your mouth to find keys in a bucket of fungusy testicles. What was previously a balanced exercise in combat mastery became a frantic oh god where am I moonwalk of floating dingleberry arse biscuits and sprinting backwards. Did it stop Combat Evolved being amazing? Not even close. But if there's one game that we can say unequivocally did not need zombies, it was Halo. And we'll leave you with this parting shot that requires no explanation whatsoever. Assassin's Creed, Desmond, enough said.